Modern fitness is obsessed with shortcuts. How to get shredded in 7 days, how to gain six-pack abs while you sleep. But the most dangerous athletes on earth built their bodies in a way most people aren't ready for. It's simple, yet brutal. Before we dive in, we have to clear this out. Roadwork is different from running marathons or regular jogging. We're talking about a specific training to prepare you for the unique demands of the ring. But you don't need to be a fighter to get the benefits of roadwork, because there's lots of value to unpack here. Old school fighters ran for hours, and Muhammad Ali famously said that fights are won or lost on the road. By the end of this video, you'll know how roadwork can help not only in combat, but in burning fat, getting chiseled, and going toward your best shape possible without needing any equipment. I'm Takeshi Fit, and I'm here to show how you can train like your favorite celebrities and characters. Let's break down how you only need a pair of shoes to start transforming your body today. So let's get straight into it. Now, roadwork isn't as simple as slipping on sneakers and jogging. That's because it also conditions you for a boxing match. During a fight, things are explosive, unpredictable, and constantly shifting. Old school fighters had to learn the hard way just how brutal sustained combat really is. It became clear that hand-to-hand combat is extremely taxing on the body. That's why the elites in the game started looking for the best ways to stay sharp from start to finish. One of the most trusted tools to build that endurance is roadwork. If we look at iconic athletes from Muhammad Ali to Alexander Karelin to Nick Diaz, all of them hit the road and logged miles to prepare for battle. They learned from old school fighters like Jack Dempsey and Joe Louis, legends of boxing who turned roadwork into bread and butter in their daily routine. Some say they'd hit 5 to 10 miles every day. Rocky Marciano ran 7 miles a day, even on holidays. But why is that? Apart from burning calories, they were building iron lungs that never get tired, and a calloused mind that would laugh at pain. That repetition of running not only gave them lethal stamina, so they toughened up physically, but it gave them a psychological edge for sheer discipline and willpower. Therefore, this got them ready for the sustained brutality of a 15-round match. In this context, pounding the pavement is as much a mental ritual as it is physical preparation, like to a rite of passage for anyone stepping in the ring. But the greatest thing about roadwork is in how simple it is. There are no expensive machines or high-tech equipment, just you, a road, and a pair of running shoes. Some old-school boxers would run in construction boots to minimize potential risks while running and to toughen up their ankles. That's why many fighters had the habit of running 20 to 30 miles per week, and often did it at dawn. That's how they conditioned themselves to get started the day right, and every habit compounds. In the 1970s, as many as 85% of professional boxers did roadwork as their primary cardio training method. But why has this decreased? Nowadays, some modern martial artists would scoff at long-distance running and steady-state cardio, saying it's too slow. Why do they say that? Because by nature, combat sports are fast and explosive, so training would reflect that intensity. Some people even claim that only high-intensity intervals matter, and anything else is counterproductive or even hurts speed and performance. But that's far from the truth. Studies show steady aerobic running can boost VO2 max by up to 15% in 12 weeks, plenty for peak conditioning. That's your body's oxygen chugging power. Basically what you need to be in peak condition while lasting longer than anyone else. If you run at a moderate pace of 6 to 8 miles per hour, you're improving oxygen efficiency while burning an average of 600 to 800 calories an hour. That's why those old school boxers had the stamina of marathon runners and stayed sharp for 15-round wars, which is roughly 35 to 45 minutes of constant high-intensity combat. Essentially, you're carving endurance and a fighter's lean frame in one go. There are 2 ways to do roadwork. The classic aerobic grind, think steady, long-haul runs, and the modern anaerobic twist, where you're blasting sprints and catching your breath. Both get you there, but it's how you mix them that turns you into a machine. Nowadays, everyone's chasing high-intensity training. The workouts are fast, explosive, and promise you'll be shredded by next week. Yes, it's got that instant gratification buzz, but old school boxers were built differently for a reason. Instead, they stuck to steady-state running. They called it roadwork since you're out there performing your job instead of simply running or jogging. This is also known as the lost art of conditioning. Almost all fighters run, but all of the greats run, because this gives you the edge that keeps you swinging when the other guy's gasping for air. Back in the day, they kept things simple and effective, zeroing in on aerobic fitness. You'd roll out of bed at sunrise, toss on some sweats, and log a steady 5-mile jog. Progress was clear. Run longer or pick up the pace. These runs were calculated: 3 to 5 miles, 6 to 8 miles per hour, a pace that pushed lungs and legs without burning them out. But in the beginning, they didn't do sprints or shadow boxing, just raw and simple fight-ready conditioning, because when the tank empties, the fight slips away. Therefore, if running on flat tracks got repetitive, they'd hit rural roads, hills, rocky paths. Uneven ground is different. Your muscles wake up, your balance gets tight, your legs turn into pistons. That's because hill running boosts your leg power, thus making your punches land like sledgehammers. Plus, they had to dodge rocks in the way while getting to their milestones, whether it's 5 or 10 miles. But that's the old school way, which worked for years. By the early 2000s, people started to ditch it. They called it dull, draining, and repetitive, even with the different terrains. With sports science gaining ground, boxing seemed ripe for a shakeup. So this is the new school method. High-intensity anaerobic intervals. We're adding some sauce to the steady road work. Throw in sprints, 30 seconds going all in, then back to steady state for 30 seconds, and repeat. Apart from that, they add challenge to it by running backwards. This emulates the unpredictability of a fight, where you need to stay light on your feet and adapt to periods of bursts followed by momentary recovery. Do you notice how most fighters hit the road at dawn? There's something raw about those early morning miles. The streets are empty, your mind's clear. It's just you and the work. That grind before the sun comes up is where the real discipline is built and how you start the day. So it's both a body conditioning, but also hardening your mind. Old school trainers swear by this. They'll tell you straight up, champions are made in the quiet mornings, when nobody's watching, when every instinct tells you to stay in bed. And that's what separates fighters from warriors. Sure, training has gotten fancier over the years, but don't sleep on old school road work. It still delivers where it counts. Sometimes, the old school methods still work best. Steady running turns your lungs into a next-level engine while keeping you sharp when your legs feel like lead. Studies show it boosts heart efficiency, speeds up recovery, and keeps you fresh deep into fights. And in boxing, where the championship rounds decide everything, this is indispensable. There's a reason legends from Ali to Gatti swore by it. Even some modern-day fighters lean on it because it works. Pushing through mile after mile in the cold, the rain, when you're exhausted, that forges a mindset that doesn't quit. Nothing fancy, just you and the road. Roadwork's the gritty secret behind every great fighter, not because it's flashy, but because it works. Think about the old school boxers. 30 to 60 minutes of steady jogging every morning. No frills, just building that engine so he can fire on all rounds without fading. But they'd add in sprint intervals for 5 or more rounds. Run backward, or through uneven terrain. That's the point. The discipline to do it anyway is what separates fighters from guys who just hit bags. Here's how to start road work. For 3 days a week, run steady, build up to 3 miles or 5 kilometers. Once you get used to it, start adding sprints twice a week. You can add in shadow boxing rounds while at it, and bonus points if you do it backward or on a hill. This will improve your stamina like nothing else. You get used to running, so your body recovers faster, and that mental grit, that's the real prize. Because where most people would start getting tired, you'd just be getting started. Picture this, 30 days from now, your wind is deeper, your legs don't quit, and your gut's tighter than ever, just from lacing up and putting in miles. Give this a shot, and witness your body getting stronger, your lungs better, and before you know it, you'll be on your way toward the greatest health and physique of your life. Would you give a shot to road work? Let me know in the comments down below. Consider dropping a like and subscribe if you found this information valuable. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.